Hello there. Hey, Facebook, it's Ingrid. I am here, as I said I would be, at 10 a.m. Eastern on my page. I'm not sure if anybody else can see me. I'm just going to check and see if this goes into the group. I'm a little late because I started to sneeze like a crazy lady as soon as it hit 10 o'clock. So I think my allergies are, yeah, I see it's live in the group. My allergies are really starting to kick in. So I'll give you a few moments in case anybody is going to join me live. This is my first one in a long time, so I'm kind of out of touch with you all. But brought my tea. If anybody is watching live, I would love if you could pop in the comments and just let me know that you're here, and tell me what you are up to this morning, if you're having a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or whatever your thing is. I just wanted to start coming back into this group a little bit more because I haven't been good at doing regular lives. And so I think what I'm going to do is actually do a weekly show and be here live every week. So going forward, that's kind of the thing that I'm going to do. And I'm playing with the times and I'm playing with the format. So I don't have a fancy name yet either. As of now, it is 10 a.m. Eastern on a Tuesday. So, let me just check something here. 1 second. As of now, it is 10 a.m. Eastern on a Tuesday. Oh, so that's working. Okay. Awesome. Well, we are going to get started here right now. If somebody can join, anybody joins us as they come along, they can pop in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, please use hashtag replay so that I know that you were here and I can answer any questions or anything you have. So my idea for this is that we will just have a little bit of a powwow on a Tuesday. We'll talk about a topic that's happening, that I have something that's come up in my business or in my world. But if you have questions or anything that you want to ask me as well, just drop them in the comments and I'll get back to them. So in case you don't know me, my name is Ingrid Owens. I'm a business coach and marketing strategist for creative entrepreneurs and aspirational entrepreneurs. So if you're thinking that you would love to have some sort of a business, if now is the time that you're thinking that I'm going to have some time for me, I'm going to do a little bit of a side business or a full-blown business of what it is that I love to do, and I'm done kind of working for the man, or I'm done raising my kids, or I'm done taking care of people at home, and now is your time to shine. I help people exactly like you. So figure out what your idea is, validate that idea, and get online and get in front of people and get your product or service out in front of the masses. So today what I wanted to talk about was just basically the importance of finding your tribe or finding your people, right? And marketing speak, tribe is the people who follow you, but it's also about the people who you have surrounding you and supporting you. I find that a lot of my clients who come to work with me typically have been on their own, in their own heads with their business idea, and they haven't really even said it, maybe even out loud. Maybe they've talked a little bit about it with their husbands or their friends, but they haven't really, kind of voiced it out loud that this is something that they want to do. And when we're in that space where everything is in your head, it becomes kind of hard to actually see how it could happen and how you could make a plan for that. Hey, Linda. Hey, it's good to see you. And Eleni is here too. Hey, how y'all doing? Let me know in the comments that everything is good, and if you're having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, depending what your flavor is for the morning, just drop that in there too. So your tribe is not only the people who you're trying to reach with your products, but also the people who are supporting you, right? And who are uplifting you and hopefully uplifting you. We definitely want people who are uplifting and who are supportive. And one of the ways to do that is to work with other like-minded people. Now, we live in such a wonderful world right now that we have Facebook and the internet and all of these ways to communicate with people who we don't even know, right? And I found that, and I know a lot of you know me through my photography work and the Take 52 challenge, like we've created a lovely community there, full of other aspiring photographers and photography enthusiasts, and they all lift each other up. And so that can attest to the value of working in a group situation. And even though you're still on your own, right, but you can go to that group for feedback, to ask questions, to get comments, right, so that you know that you're doing the right thing, you're on the right path. When you're starting out in business, the same sort of thing applies, but it sometimes can be harder to find your people because, you know, we can be intimidated by other groups. It's kind of like coming into the party a little bit later on and you're not really sure what the dynamics of everything is. So that can be kind of challenging. So what I wanted to do today was give you some tips of how you could go about finding your people and connecting with people as well to try and give you that kind of support network in your business, or if you're aspiring to go that direction. And okay, my nose is starting to run, so I'm like, these allergies, excuse me, these allergies in Atlanta are just something horrible right now. Okay. And everything at least has been washed away, the pollen for the majority of it all. All right, so the first place obviously to look, I would suggest, I say obviously, not everybody would think it's obvious, but is with your local people and with your, you know, your immediate network. Because sometimes all you need is that one person who can be your sounding board. Now, I know a lot of my clients, for them, it is their partner or their husband. But, you know, sometimes it's not the easiest talking business to somebody that's not into business or not entrepreneurial minded. Like for me, my husband is awesome and he's a wonderful supporter of everything that I do. But when I start talking marketing and tactics and strategy and stuff, he's like, okay, you just lost me. Just tell me how I can, you know, feed the kids or take them out for the day or whatever so that you can get some work done. So there's that, okay? So you can start with that network. But even if you have one, you know, person in your kind of network, personal friends who's a friend, like, you know, you can schedule these little kind of biz chats and conversations with them. And that can be really helpful. If you're looking for that in a more formalized way, you can set up an account, like an accountability relationship. And I've had that too. And I actually, one of my best business friends I met her online. She was in Atlanta. Now she's in Vegas, but we still talk regularly and hold each other accountable to our different business goals. And that relationship has been there with us for 6-7 years now, which is kind of like crazy. So you can find people like that if you're in Facebook groups, and if there's somebody who maybe you have a connection with, don't be afraid to, you know, direct message somebody and say, hey, you're in this business, I'm in this business. Would you be open to, you know, having a chat once a week on the phone, or using like a free conferencing like Zoom, which is free if you're only using it on a one-to-one basis, or even just on instant messenger. That's a nice way to hold each other accountable to your business goals. So finding a business accountability partner can be great. Now, where do you find these people? Ultimately, it can be in a Facebook group situation. So you can search in your Facebook groups or search in Facebook for groups for the specific type of industry that you're in. So if you're into decor or you know, some sort of calligraphy or design or photography, you can look under those specific topics and then find entrepreneurship variations within that. There's other Facebook groups that are based on sort of like your life status. Like, so there's like entrepreneurial moms and you know, religious, or if you're kind of affiliated with like Christianity is something really important to you in your business ethics, and that you can find like there's like Christpreneur. I have a friend that has that group. And so there's lots of different variations of an entrepreneur. So it can be quite Sorry, my chair is moving down. It can be kind of overwhelming to try and find your people, but a bit of a search and a Google can find you all sorts of wonderful stuff. So don't be afraid to look, and don't be afraid to, you know, join some groups and kind of jump in. Most of those groups, Facebook groups, will be have very specific rules about you know, how you can post and stuff. But if you're only in there asking for help, they're usually a very friendly place. If anybody wants any recommendation of business groups, I'm happy to give those to you, of what, if you're looking for something in particular. And let me know in the comments if you're part of any groups that you find are really good for finding that kind of connection. So the groups are that can be a really nice way of meeting online friends. And through those groups, something that I started doing last year, and I didn't even know this was a thing, and I thought it was amazing, was actually scheduling virtual coffee chats with people in these groups. Now, it can be a little bit uncomfortable from the get-go, because you're like, I don't know this person, and like, I'm going to talk to them, but it's just like me and you here right now. Okay, this is a one-sided conversation, but you know, you can hop on Facebook Messenger, I think, does it like live, or Zoom, or some sort of a video conference in Skype, and you can have a little business chat with people, or just a cup of coffee, like just a networking thing. And so they could become a customer, but mostly it's just for that connection and kind of expanding your network, because by doing that, you're going to meet people who are in all sorts of industries, and you know, you're just kind of establishing your network, getting a referral bases going, and just also being able to, you know, bounce out people. That's actually what I did last week. One of the things that I did was meet somebody in person who I'd met in a Facebook group. So that was kind of fun too, because she just put out there she wanted to meet people from Atlanta, and somebody says, oh, Ingrid Owens is in Atlanta, and so we scheduled a coffee, and it was so really a great starter to our friendship. So that's another way. So you can start online and take it offline. That's kind of fun. You can also do something more formalized, where you know, you can go to like meetup.com, and they tend to have a lot of business meetups. You can search on their database. You've got a lot of stuff going on there, so that's another interesting one. I haven't really used it in a long time. Excuse me, I'm having a cup of tea. Yes, Linda says she's really feeling the need for this. I totally get it. I haven't used Meetup in a long time, but there are so many different ones out there. Like, you could go for something. I mean, Linda, you might like to do something photography based or entrepreneurial based, or photography and entrepreneurial squished together, or even just nature photography, walks and kind of photo walks and photo tours that are just all like Meetup. You know, I've got so many different people who are all over. I keep thinking I need to just get everybody together in some way. So it's on the list of things to do. But in the meantime, I would absolutely, you know, go to Meetup, and maybe you might find some information right there. Okay, so we talked about Facebook groups, we talked about meeting people individually. I would encourage you to reach out to people individually and see, you know, if you can come up with just chatting, like a coffee talk. And it only has to be like 15 minutes. If you feel like, oh, this could be not a good vibe, you can always like just keep it short. And then if you want to expand it, you can go on from that. Through doing that as well, I've also formed masterminds. And so if people are very open, if you go into the right groups and say, like, I'm looking to open and start a mastermind, like a free, let's get together every Thursday evening on the phone and talk about our issues in our business and how we can support each other and lift each other up. And business masterminds can be born out of that in a very natural way. I find in my experience the most difficult, challenging thing about them is scheduling, because it's impossible to get a schedule that fits everybody, but it's absolutely worth a try, especially if you've known several people. So that can be a good one as well, just so that you can form those masterminds kind of very fluidly and But then there's lots of resources online to how to structure them so everybody gets a chance to talk and brainstorm and how you can help each other up. So masterminds are a good thing. Again, you can just go in and ask. And in fact, if you go into groups, you'll see quite often where people are asking for mastermind partners and if people would be interested. And it's good if you can get people from a variety of businesses, because then, you know, you're kind of spreading out different opinions so that not everybody's looking at your business the same way as you look at it, right? So there's that. Of course, Linda, I know you're good on Etsy. There's Etsy forums and Etsy seller like pods and groups too. And quite often you'll see that it's these mastermind little like kind of subgroups that are the ones that are helping boost each other's posts, comments, liking and sharing each other's posts. So that really helps distribute your network and your marketing on social media as well. So I could talk about this forever, but I really want to keep these really quite succinct. We're on 15 minutes now, but I'll keep going. Because I have a couple more ideas. I wanted to talk, so the last way is really about a more formalized mentor or a formalized kind of group. And actually that's one of the places where I got my current group of people. So I was in a paid program with these people, a group coaching program. And the thing about a paid group is that you've got a bit of skin in the game, right? So we were all putting our, you know, money where our mouth is. We all had businesses at a fairly similar stage. Some people were a little bit further along in terms of the timeline than others. But out of a group of maybe 12 women, we kind of shook down to about 5 core, or there's actually 7 to 5 of us who kind of fluctuate, core people who really are aligned with our same values and our same ideas about doing business. So it doesn't work if somebody's into like, oh, I'm all about like the, you know, just kind of make a quick dime sort of thing. We're all about like nurturing relationships, helping people flourish, you know, lifting people up in our business, and we're kind of like that heart-centered kind of thing. So we all have very similar values from that respect, but very different businesses and different ways of approaching our business. So that for me has been great. So we started in a paid group, but now we are out on our own and we just meet ourselves I think it's every other Monday, and we've got some exciting projects coming up as well that we're collaborating on, because you cannot do this business thing alone, and that is for sure. And it's one thing having a coach, like somebody like me, to kind of help you through those tough parts, but then there comes a time where you have to have your own people around you to support you and lift you up as well, and the onus is on you to find those people. In general, you know, you got to find your people, because only you know who your people are. And, you know, we have to kind of get in relationships and sometimes break up with people, and we kind of move and shake around our way through the internet till we find our right people. But, you know, just be open to that, and it's amazing what will present itself. In fact, one of my other very best friends that I met online, I met at a conference, and so I didn't actually meet her online, but now we talk online because like she's in a different part of the country to me. So, you know, don't underestimate the power of networking and conferences and all that kind of stuff as well. That's another really, really good one. In fact, I would suggest that conferences are probably one of the best the best ways of meeting like-minded people, and not even worrying about going to the content in the conferences, but it's the networking that happens right at the back of the room or afterwards, or the classes you miss can sometimes be more valuable than the classes you attend. Okay, so to recap, we talked about meeting people, your current network. We talked about meeting people online in Facebook groups. We talked about taking those Facebook group relationships offline if you can in person, or even making it more individually with coffee chats and Zoom calls just on a one-on-one basis. We talked about meeting people at networking events and talking about people in a paid mastermind scenario. Now, I do have something coming up at the end of May. The middle of May, June, where I am starting a group coaching program for women who are building their businesses. And so that will be a sort of a mastermind, but it's really a program. So we're going through the specific topics together, and then in a group scenario we're coaching through some of the hiccups and stuff. So I'm not presenting it specifically as a mastermind, but as I said earlier, you could pull mastermind out of that and kind of work with your people in that regard too. So that might be of interest in you. It could interest to you. It could be something you would be suitable for. And if you do feel like you're interested in doing that, I would love to hop on a call and tell you a little bit more about what's involved. It will be through application only, so it's a specific group for specific people. But like I say, if you would be interested in hearing more, I will pop the link in here, the comments. Let me do that right now. So since I'm trying to be so super organized. And if you've never been on a Zoom call with somebody as well, it will give you an option, or sorry, an opportunity to get on a call with me so that you know what that's involved. Like, sorry, something stuck to my lip gloss. All right, well, so that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today. If anybody has any questions on that, feel free to write them in the comments and I will answer them as best I can. Like I said, I can probably pop in some groups here, Facebook groups that are really good for female entrepreneurs with like a heart-centered, nice approach to business, not very harsh. I think if you know me, you know the type of places I hang out, right? So I always like to hang out with nice people. So I really want to encourage you to do that, to go find your peeps, lift each other up, because a rising tide lifts all boats and we're all in this entrepreneurial journey together, right? So feel free to drop your questions. I will come back and answer them. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe. Make sure you like the page. And I think there should be a way to get notified when I go live, because I'm going to do this every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for the foreseeable, so that you can put it in your calendar and you can talk about questions. And if you have other questions or any other topics that are coming up to you in your video, or in your business, pop it in here as well, or direct message me and we can have a chat about that, or we can answer it in another call. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye, Elena. Thank you. And Linda, lovely to see you this morning. You always learn something. That's my goal for it all. Linda, lovely seeing y'all, and thanks for joining me now and getting out to enjoy the rest of this lovely day here in Atlanta. Take care. Bye.